Hail adventurers, Alistair Crown here. Even though I don't have the new style pat down yet, well, somebody asked me for a video, and who am I to say no to, well, a random person that asked me for a video in one of my comment sections. But I enjoy when people do that, so get to it. That actually gets me to make more videos. Now, this person, they asked me what my thoughts are on Pathfinder 2nd Edition, the playtest, and Death and Glory. That's the new Warhammer 40k tabletop role-playing game. So let's talk about Pathfinder 2nd Edition first. So, one of the biggest changes are you don't have differences in saving throws. You still have saving throws. You don't have base attack bonus anymore, though. What you do have now is proficiency level. So, kind of reminds me a little bit of 5th edition, because 5th edition uses proficiency, but it's a name only, because proficiency in Pathfinder is actually your level. You add your level to everything. Now, here's the thing. You can train in things. If you're untrained, it's your level -2. If you're trained, it's just your level. Expert is level +1, Master is level +2, Legendary is level +3. So the difference really between someone that's Legendary and someone that's untrained is 5 points, and in a D20 system, 5 points difference isn't really that much. If it was a bell curve, now I would say that 5 points makes a world of a difference, but it's just, you have 5% chance of rolling any other number on a D20, so... At first, I had my gripes with that, because then you have everybody basically rolling the same number. But then I thought about it, I played a session, and then I saw that skills, if you're trained in them, you get more stuff than if you were untrained with them. For example, thievery, you can use lockpicks, and you can also disarm traps if you're trained in it. If you're not trained, you can't do that stuff. Then the other thing is, well, I have a very small group. How small? Actually, it's just me and 2 other people. Usually, I'm the game master and I have 2 players, or one of my friends is a game master and he has 2 players. Right now, I'm running the playtest, so I'm the one with the 2 players. Seeing people have so many numbers on everything, it actually helps out a lot for small groups. Because if you have 2 people, because, disarming traps is not exclusive to rogues anymore. If you have 2 people, there's no reason one of them can't pick thievery as a trained skill, so they can actually disarm traps. So if you have a small group, you can still have your traps, you can still have your poisons and stuff like that. So I think it helps out there. Then the other point I saw is you have so many feats in this game now. Maybe some people thought that in Pathfinder 1st edition you had an oversaturation of feats, because you have a lot of feats to choose from, but in this one you just have a lot of feats to pick. You have your ancestry feats, you have skill feats. Ancestry feats are the feats that your race gives you. You also have your basic feats, and then each class gets feats for the class, which is how you customize the class, which is really friggin' cool. One of the cool ancestry feats that I saw is a human can be a half-elf or a half-orc by picking one of these ancestry feats. Now, the other feats that I just LOVE love is multi-classing feats. Because, oh man, I don't know if you've seen Pathfinder Unchained and how the multi-classing option makes it so you lose a couple of feats, but then those feats you would have gotten, you get class features from other classes. It's something like that, but even better, because you get full class features. And since spellcasters don't incur arcane spell failure chance when they cast spells, the first character I did, even though I'm running the playtest, the first character I made, because I made the 2 players, the NPC that could be with them and help them out in combat, is basically Solaire of Astora from Dark Souls. What I did was human fighter, right? And then as soon as he could, I took the wizard multi-classing feats, which lets him get a couple of cantrips, and cantrips now are still unlimited, but they scale with your level now. So Acid Splash, instead of just dealing 1d3, it deals 1d4, and it can go up to 5d4, I think, by level 9, which is pretty nifty because now you have less spells per day, which is kind of weird because they like kind of underpowered spellcasters now, but they have so much customization and they have those really powerful cantrips. You know, there's really no reason to go Nova on things. I honestly think it helps out with the 15-minute adventuring day, which a lot of games suffer from, especially when you go Nova on people. Another thing I want to talk about is it has so much customization options in comparison to Pathfinder Core, and honestly I think this playtest has more customization options than Starfinder Core. And Starfinder is a full game. I'm not really gonna get into Starfinder, I have my own gripes with that, but maybe that could be another video. But it has so much customization. I remember someone in a forum board said he hated the playtest because he felt like he was in a straitjacket, that he could basically pick anything because there wasn't that many options. And I'm like, what are you looking at? You have the ancestry feats, you have your feats, you have your class feats. You can make a fighter that's sword and board really good right out from level 1. You can make one that is just a beefy fighter that just power attacks everything from level 1. There's so much you can do. I'm talking about the fighter obviously because it's the one that I played and it's a really cool fighter. But even if you're a wizard, you can just pick the fighter multi-classing feats and get proficiency with heavy armor and just be a tank mage, which is freaking cool. The other point I want to talk about is that goblins are a core race. It is funny because I remember about a couple of weeks before the playtest came out, I was actually talking to my best friend and I told him, I remember, hey, you know how Paizo really loves their goblins, how they look with those football-shaped heads, and how goblins are basically Paizo's mascots for Pathfinder. Wouldn't you think it would be a really cool thing if they made them a core race for 2nd edition? And boom, there it was, and I was so happy with that. The other thing is alchemists apparently are now a core class, and the alchemist class is pretty damn cool because you actually have to spend it. It reminds me a little bit of the artificer in Everon 3.5 because you have to spend a lot of silver pieces, because we're moving down to silver pieces is what you're mostly gonna find, but you know, like, you're gonna use gold pieces eventually. But you use your money to make your potions, so the more money you get, so you ask your party members, hey, can I have a higher cut? They're gonna say like, no, you can't have a higher cut of the profits, but you're like, hey, I'm making potions, and they're like, oh wait, you're making potions, right? Potions brings me to action economy. You have 3 actions during a round, and different actions that you make cost different amounts of actions. For example, an attack costs 1 action, moving costs 1 action, so you can actually move and attack twice, or move twice and attack, or just attack 3 times. There is a multi-attack penalty from your second attacks, but what's cool is you can attack, and then you can decide if you can attack again, and then the second attack is the one that takes the penalty. You can actually attack, move, and then attack with the penalty. You can actually, like, there's no reason for the Magus to exist anymore. It's weird. The Magus is my favorite Pathfinder class, but the spell combat it's integrated now to 2nd edition because you can actually cast a spell that's usually gonna take you 2 actions for the somatic and verbal components, and then attack with your sword. That's pretty cool. Like, when I realized that, I was actually so damn excited because I like me some spell blades, man. I like me some gitches, you know? You know what I mean, man? Yeah. So the other thing is, let me talk about the things I actually dislike, because there are 2 things. One that to me is kind of annoying, another one that to me is almost a deal breaker. I like the game enough that honestly, this is just first impressions, I'm gonna like this game more than Pathfinder 1st edition because of the sheer amount of customization and how pick up and play this game feels. Not as much as 5th edition, but it has so much more customization than 5th edition that to me just blows 5th edition out of the water. So the first thing is alignments. The game still has alignments, and I didn't, besides the paladin that they still have to be lawful good, I don't know if eventually they're gonna get kits where they can be anything other than lawful good. There's no real reason to have alignments, at least from what I saw, you know, like the paladins and the clerics, because your deity allows certain alignments. To me, that you could do without, honestly. To me, alignments just brings a lot of contempt on the table and discussions that are honestly unnecessary. So I just like to play without alignment. For the sake of the playtest, I am using alignments and I am enforcing alignments. But once the game actually comes out, if it still has alignments, I'm just gonna ad hoc that and remove it completely. Now, the one that I actually disliked, that was almost a deal breaker, if it wasn't for the game being so damn fun from first glance and from first session that we played, you still have the issue with the adventurer's outfit. The adventurer's outfit is the magic items you need to be able to be worth a damn, basically, at higher levels. So if you're a martial character, which I love being and playing, by higher levels you need to have weapons and armor of your level or higher, or a little bit lower, if you actually wanna be worth a damn, because enemy AC scale up so damn high. It is a really quick fix, because you can just lower enemy AC, and another fix is just give players more ability points. So it's an easy fix. I'm sure I could probably make, once the actual game comes out, I'm pretty sure I can make some really quick work house rules that'll just make it work and flow easily. But for the core game, it's just you need your +5 sword at 20th level. If not, you're not gonna hit that 20th level monster unless you roll an 18 or higher. To me, that's just bad game design. I know if you design a game based around having these magic items, that's fine, but I just dislike the idea of that, because that just breeds more murder hobos, and I hate running or playing games that are murder hobo centric. It irks me to no end. Besides that, I think that's basically what I liked and disliked about Pathfinder 2nd Edition mostly. I have read the book completely, but, you know, I just read it once over. I need to reread it again and play the other parts of the playtest. The first session, we actually did character creation, and we finished the first chapter completely. It was actually really short. I'm surprised that some people have told me, oh, we're in the second session of the first chapter or the third session of the first chapter. I'm like, it's a really small dungeon. You just take, what is it? Yeah, you always turn to the right. If you're in a dungeon, always turn to the right, and you're gonna end up at the boss room really fast. And that's actually what my players did, and it was easy. It was easy. The boss fight was cool, but yeah, I don't get how people take so long to do this. Maybe the next chapters are longer. I read a little bit through it, but as time goes on, I'm gonna reread the playtest more and remember more. So maybe I'll do a follow-up video with the playtest. We'll see how things go.